Are you in a rush to lose as much weight as you can before summer, so now you're following a strict diet? Whether your plan is to eliminate carbs with strict keto, or only eat in a 1 hour window with an intermittent fasting schedule, or you're following a 1200 calorie diet in order to get quick weight loss, all of these strict diets are actually keeping you fat. And before we talk about 4 major reasons that strict diets keep you fat, please like the video and subscribe. Hey, I'm Nissa, and my 100-pound weight loss story was featured in media like People magazine and Pop Sugar. Now I help women break free from yo-yo diets with the same simple macro approach I use to lose 100 pounds. Okay, let's talk about 4 reasons strict diet plans are keeping you fat. Reason number 1 is following an over-restrictive plan during the week can lead to cravings and binge eating on the weekends. When your diet is too restrictive during the week, this can wreak havoc on your physiology. And even though you keep telling yourself that you need to eat very low calories, or maybe you need to restrict specific foods in order to lose weight, if this isn't what your body truly needs, well, what your body needs to stay alive is always going to win in the end. So when you're over-restrictive in the name of weight loss, this is often when cravings begin, or you might start feeling bad from over-restriction. And suddenly, you find yourself face first in a family-sized bag of Doritos. And while we all vow to get right back on track on Monday, continuously falling off track every single weekend is keeping you stuck in this strict diet then binge cycle that will never help you reach your fat loss goals. The same thing is true when you severely restrict calories during the week in order to speed up weight loss. Even if you stay true to a low-calorie plan throughout the week, anytime you end up overeating on the weekend, you could have just wiped out any progress you made towards your goal. And since consistent fat loss depends on a consistent calorie deficit, that means that you won't get the results you want long-term when you continue to follow this strict diet then binge cycle. If this describes your life, a better approach is to allow yourself some grace during the week. Instead of white-knuckling your way through your diet Monday through Friday, follow a plan that's more sustainable so that you're less likely to binge on the weekend. Reason number 2 strict diets are keeping you fat is that avoiding certain foods often makes you crave these foods even more. How many times have you gone on a strict low-carb diet like keto, and the second you start your diet, all you could think about is that bag of chips in the cabinet or how much you want to demolish the entire sleeve of cookies? Or perhaps you're stronger than that. Maybe you can last a few days before the cravings for pizza or donuts and french fries hit. Now, I'm not saying that once you start a more flexible diet that you can suddenly eat all of the junk food while still getting results. Well, this mindset change helps you think about these foods way less often. And for many women, if you really crave any of these less than optimal foods, when you know that you could fit them in anytime you want, then you won't overcompensate by binging when you do make an allowance. But when these foods are strictly off limits, most women end up binging on junk foods since who knows the next time you're going to allow yourself that treat. Take the power away from these foods by reminding yourself that there really are no good or bad foods when it comes to weight loss. While it's true there are less nutritious options and overeating foods that aren't nutrient dense will slow down your progress, not labeling foods as strictly good or bad takes the power away from food, which can help you stay more consistent with your plan. The third reason strict diets are keeping you fat is that following a strict low-calorie diet can lower your metabolism too quickly, which leaves you nowhere to go once you reach a weight loss plateau. No matter what online calculators tell you, your metabolism adapts as you diet. And the lower you drop your calories during your fat loss phase, the less you can eat while still losing weight. Now, if you think that adding more intense cardio to compensate is the answer, well, the bad news is your body adapts to that too. Let's talk about how this happens with 2 very typical examples. Now, let's say the amount of calories you maintain your weight on is 2,200 calories per day. In order to lose weight, most women choose one of 2 options. You either go with option A, where you immediately slash calories to 1,200 per day because someone somewhere along the line established this as the gold standard for weight loss for women. And of course, you want to lose weight quickly, so you also add on an hour of intense cardio most days. So with this fast track plan, you do find yourself losing weight quickly at first, but after a few weeks of this strict plan, your progress stalls. While you think that you're just a broken person and that weight loss will never work for you, the reality is you just crashed your metabolism by eating way too little and exercising way too much. And since you started your diet with only 1,200 calories plus too much intense cardio, when you do hit a weight loss plateau, you don't really have many options to get the scale moving. It's not realistic to lower calories even further, nor is it a good idea to stress your body by adding even more exercise. Now, option B is the road less traveled since the weight loss isn't as noticeable at the beginning. But option B goes something like this. Instead of immediately slashing 1,000 calories for quick weight loss, this time you take a more moderate approach and only cut calorie intake by 20%. So this is going to put you somewhere around 1,760 calories per day, and you find that you lose around a pound per week there. Since you learn that your body naturally tapers off movement whenever calories are restricted, you decide to track steps and stay between 8 to 10,000 steps per day. And while killing yourself on the elliptical sounds like such a good time, you learn that overdoing cardio actually loses its benefits over time. So you decide to focus on more moderate walks while also weight training 3 to 4 times per week in order to build up your metabolism. Now, even though you're less likely to hit a weight loss plateau because you're focusing on resistance training while also in a moderate calorie deficit, if you do hit a stall, well, at 1760 calories per day, it's actually not too painful to lower your calories by another 10%, bringing you to somewhere around 1,600 calories in order to get the scale moving again. So the obvious solution to problem number 3 is you need to have patience at the beginning of your plan by starting out with a more slow and steady approach to weight loss. While this seems like you're taking the long path, you'll reach your goals much more quickly and in a much more sustainable way than by following another quick fix plan that doesn't work long term. Finally, the 4th reason following a strict diet is keeping you fat is that strict diets often leave you feeling left out of social situations, which isn't great for your mental health. Now, I know that when I followed strict low-calorie or even strict low-carb diets back in the day, it was doable to stick to my plan whenever I was by myself. But once a coworker decided to go for a drink, or if I wanted to go out to dinner with friends, then all diet rules went out the window. I usually fell into one of 2 scenarios. I would either go out, enjoy myself, and then completely blow off my diet and stall my progress, or I would go out, not really order much, and then I would mentally obsess about all of the food and drinks that I couldn't have while all my friends were having fun. Worse yet, there were plenty of times that I didn't go out at all because I knew at the time that I would blow on my diet. Now, this left me feeling alone and resentful, and it wasn't any fun. Now that I follow a flexible diet where no food is off limits, this makes navigating social situations so much easier. I no longer have to say no to dinners out with my family and friends. In fact, I eat out a few times each week while still losing at a pretty reasonable pace. I've learned how to use tools like calorie cycling so that I can loosen up on the weekends without gaining weight. I also realized that eating out could slow my results since the options at restaurants have so many more calories, but since my goal is to fit my flexible diet around my lifestyle instead of forcing my lifestyle to fit around my diet, well, this new mindset makes it much easier to be more consistent during the week when I'm not eating out. And in case you haven't realized this, being consistent with your diet will get way better results than aiming for perfection. Okay, so there's 4 major reasons that strict diets are keeping you fat. After 30 plus years of fighting way too hard to lose weight and keeping it off, I'm happy to report that making small changes to daily habits is what helps make the entire fat loss process so much easier. And quitting strict diet rules is one of the best habits that I quit for good. If you're ready to quit strict diets too and finally make weight loss easy, yes, even after 40, drop a line below. I'll send you the guide that I use to help my clients build a strong metabolism. These 4 simple steps make weight loss over 40 so much easier.